Hey.
Alright, y'all, I just got done rewatching the opening night game between the Phoenix Suns and the Golden State Warriors, and the headline from it, obviously Devin Booker had himself a night, 32 points, 8 assists, and it was his first game back as the starting point guard for the Phoenix Suns. A lot of people are talking about his assist numbers from the night, so let's just dig right into it. Now, I'll be honest, I don't want this to come across as hate towards Devin Booker, but at the same time, I just wasn't too impressed by the assists he had tonight. I think a lot of people maybe stretched this, maybe did a little dick riding of these 8 assists. It's a good number. It was, I don't want to say that it was not impressive, but I do think that people might be overreacting to this first game. And I'll explain why, of course. You know, I'm not just going to leave y'all hanging. Now, obviously, this is one of the big storylines heading into the season, with Chris Paul being traded for Bradley Beal and Devin Booker going back to the point guard spot for the Suns. He ran it some back in his earlier days when the Suns were rebuilding and horrible, and they said, you know what, fuck it, let's just give Devin Booker some point guard reps to work on his playmaking. And that strategy has paid off for sure. As we all know, Booker came into the league pretty much a scorer and nothing else, and his ascension to where he's at today has been really impressive and fun to watch. So again, I'm not taking anything away from him. At the same time though, I think people need to cool it on his, oh, Devin Booker is one of the best playmakers in the league. He's a good playmaker. He's not one of the best in the league. Let's just relax a little. So let's start with some of the more impressive passes that did not end up being assists. He had this one play here later on in the second quarter, runs a high screen with Nurkic. They trap him straight out of the pick and roll, and he hits Nurkic in the short roll, and Nurkic then gets the assist to Josh Okogie, meaning Booker gets the hockey assist. But again, it was just nice to see him get the ball out quick and beat the trap for the team to get an easy bucket. Then here a little bit later in the second quarter, he's taking the ball out on the sideline out of bounds play, backdoor cut by Okogie, and he gives a really nice lead bounce pass to get it to Okogie so that he can go up and get the and one layup. And then there's this play here in the start of the third. They run a little give and go into a screen action for him. He drives all the way to the rim and then delivers a really nice kick out pass to Grayson Allen. Now, nothing comes out of this, but again, it was a really, really nice pass off of a drive from Devin Booker. Now, for the most part, Devin Booker's impressive assists came in clutch time, which if you're going to make nice plays, that would be the time to make them. But first, I want to take a look at the rest of his assists, just so I can explain my point from earlier about why this, getting caught up in the 8 assist number, I just wasn't too impressed. And that's because a lot of these assists were simply just him getting double teamed and making a pass to a wide open teammate who shot a wide open shot and made it. And again, I don't want this to sound like it's hate. It's good that he is a willing passer after being double teamed. That means he's using his scoring gravity to his advantage to help his team get easier looks. And those are all great things. But again, the point I'm trying to make is that people are starting to push this, Devin Booker is an elite playmaker agenda, and I'm just not quite on board with that yet. Now again, what did impress me was his late game playmaking, where it was a 1 possession game down the line late in the fourth quarter, and he was doing a tremendous job of getting the best shot possible for his team. First, they had this play here, up 1. They're trying to shed Jonathan Kuminga off of him with a screen from Nurkic, but Kuminga's just playing some really solid defense. But eventually, Nurkic gets open on the short roll, forcing Chris Paul to have to guard him and take a step into the paint, and that leaves Josh Okogie on the weak side wide open. Devin Booker does a great job of staying patient and then rifling a skip pass on the money for Okogie to hit the clutch 3. Then up 2 with 30 seconds left, this bucket here essentially iced the game. First, he winds down the clock, then Nurkic again comes, sets a screen, gets him loose, they rescreen. Kevon Looney is not in the right spot for that rescreen, allows Nurkic a good roll to the rim. They try and double again and trap Booker off of the initial pick and roll, but he again beats the trap and gets off a pass to Nurkic for the layup that again sealed the game. Overall, a very impressive game from Booker. He was the main reason why the Phoenix Suns were able to get this win on the road on opening night. It was a great game overall. Some other things that stood out to me from the Phoenix Suns, Josh Okogie had an amazing game, shot super efficiently, was hustling both offensive and defensively, had some great steals, a ton of offensive rebounds, had 4 of them, which was huge in this game. Yusuf Nurkic and Drew Eubanks were both solid in their debut, and it looks like the Suns might actually have a somewhat reliable center rotation, which is something that, if you were to say that last year, might sound crazy to you Phoenix Suns fans. Kevin Durant had a pretty rough shooting night, but I think that's more so just the Golden State Warriors having a good defensive game plan for him than Kevin Durant being washed or anything like that, any agenda like that people might try to push. And then the last point I'll make about the Suns, I'm still not really sold on Eric Gordon as the backup point guard for this team. He has a few nice passes here and there. He definitely can play make a little bit, but at the same time, he's just a little bit too trigger happy for me to be a backup point guard and someone that's supposed to be, you know, like an on-court coach for that second unit. I think he just puts up shots a little too quickly sometimes. That might just be a me thing. As for the Warriors, it was kind of just a sloppy game in general. A lot of fouls. They actually didn't really turn over the ball that much. They won the turnover battle pretty handedly and had a ton of points off of the Phoenix Suns turnovers, but it was not enough. This team is undersized. They struggled to rebound the ball, and they relied a little bit too much on the three-point shot, in my opinion. There are probably a lot of people out there who will say that Chris Paul had a terrible debut because of the fact that he shot 4 of 15 from the field and did not hit a single 3 in his 6 attempts, but I will counter that argument by saying that he was actually a huge part in the Warriors' third quarter comeback that gave them their first lead of the night. He also had 9 assists with only 1 turnover, which is not easy to do. There aren't many players in the league that can do that, especially someone like Chris Paul at his old age. He just continues to be excellent with his assist to turnover ratio. I loved what I saw from the young duo of Jonathan Kuminga and Moses Moody. Moody had a big first half, had 3 steals, was scoring the ball really well in the flow of offense, and then Kuminga stepped up in the second half, was playing really solid defense, and I'm happy that both those guys are finally rotation guys and getting good minutes because they were really working their asses off in this game, and they hopefully will continue to earn more minutes down the line because if this Warriors team wants to be good, they're going to need those two to step up off the bench. And then last point I'll make, I really like the Dario Saric signing. He took 11 shots this game, which is a little wild, and he should not be doing that in the future. But overall, I really like his fit as the backup center on this team, just because of the fact that he can pass well at the top of the key. They can run the offense through him. He can shoot the 3-ball if needed, and even had a play this game where he put the ball on the ground and got a bucket, which is just something that the Warriors have never gotten from a backup center. I don't know, like ever in the Curry, Clay, Dre era. Speaking of Dre, they were without him for the game, obviously with the ankle injury. I assume they'll probably be a little better once he comes back. Their offense might look a little better. But that's all I got for this one. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see y'all in the next one.